Onetox represent Solomon Island people say. We people start originally from my homeland. Like my old man said, there's nothing impossible. So we have to bring this message to my brother lyrical. Straight from the crew, out to the blue. We represent the voices of my ancestors calling. And I was getting more and my culture is falling. Now we have a step up for the past 20 calling.
Once down, once it stop, ain't nobody gonna stop us. People, everybody, would you listen to us for a start? No point complaining unless we partaking. We represent the cause of the ones falling.
Previously on Delos, we checked out of the Philippines and set sail for Malaysia with a stop at Tubataha Reef. We'd been hanging out in Kudet for a few days now. Ragnar, Karen's brother, had flown out from Sweden to see the yachting lifestyle.
So I found the mizzen in the back, and it's hard. It's sitting there good.
Oh,
okay.
Look at that.
So we were doing typical yachty stuff, like keeping up on the latest fashion, buying stuff for the boat, and of course, fine dining. But mostly we were waiting. Our super awesome Lifeline batteries had finally died after 6 years of hard cruising service. So we were kind of stuck until they arrived from Kuala Lumpur. But we had plenty of boat stuff to keep us occupied.
You're so bad
I'm
with.
such a pussy when it comes to smells and weird shit like that.
I can take it out, Ryan.
What was it?
It's like a chopped up tampon and
Chopped up.
because it chops everything up before it spits it out.
Okay.
No matter how many times you tell your guests, something with the head is always bound to happen.
What do you got there, Kaza?
Fucking nastiness. That's so much hair in here too. What is this?
What is that?
I don't know, it's like black stuff.
It's probably a poo-filled tampon.
Look at all
Oh, who put all the hair down there?
this. This is splattered into my face.
No. Okay, go wash your face immediately. Serious.
Okay, back to something not so gross. Our plan after leaving Kudet was to head across the top of Borneo. This stretch is notoriously reefy and has little to no wind, so we saw a lot of motoring in our future.
Alright, well, doing stuff for a yacht is a little bit different here in Malaysia. We're off on a fuel run, and apparently you can't just walk up to the petrol station and buy diesel for a couple different reasons that we're about to find out. So we're off to some strange government office to try and get a permit to buy some diesel, so we'll see how we go. Alright, so this is John.
Hello.
He's with the marina here in Kudet. He's been hooking us up all the time, getting us rides, taking us for Chinese food, laundry.
Brian is a good guy. Yeah.
Really nice.
But I don't have a girlfriend, so anyone want to meet me, please add me in Facebook, any B-Talk or... yeah.
Okay, we'll put a message up for you, John.
Yes, thank you.
What kind of girls do you like?
A long hair girl. A long hair girl.
Long hair girl?
Yeah.
All
Must
right.
be honest.
Honest?
Yes, and respect my parents.
Yeah.
That's important.
Okay.
And the important is she must be hot. Yeah.
After proving we weren't terrorists building a diesel bomb, we then had to promise not to smuggle fuel to the Philippines.
Got it. We've got our permission letter to go get diesel. We can only get 200 liters at a time per letter, so we're gonna go on a run right now, and then maybe come back tomorrow and do it again.
So why all the fuss? Well, the Malaysian government subsidizes fuel prices here, making it about 30% cheaper than their closest neighbor. Fuel smuggling is big business around here. It all went well, and after a few visits to the office and a few more permission letters, Delos had a full tank. All we had to do now was wait on a few more boxes to be shipped in.
Okay, action.
So this is very exciting. It's like Christmas in July on Delos. And this is from Nationwide Express, which means it should be the drone. I ordered from Kuching, and it is Phantom 2 Vision Plus your flying camera drone. This is gonna be so cool.
After using our friend's drone back in the Philippines, we saw just how cool it was. We had to have our own onboard Delos.
How excited are you?
It's like a new toy. I don't know, I love it. I love stuff like this.
Look at me and say that you love it.
I love it. All right. Camera on the drone, man. You ready?
1 second. I want you in there too. Okay.
It's pretty easy to fly, especially with the GPS. Just let go of the sticks, and it hovers right in place. Ragnar was my smartphone co-pilot and cameraman. It was awesome.
Here.
The batteries finally arrived. We opted for absorb glass mat instead of standard wet cells. They're a little more expensive, but we had such a good experience with the previous ones, we hoped it would pay off again. Delos has a 24-volt DC system, so I wired 2 batteries up in series. It's a total capacity of 400 amp hours at 24 volts. With the solar kicking in during the day, there's plenty of capacity for us.
25.9. They all appear to be good.
With the last of our chores done, it was time to show Ragnar the other side of cruising. It was time to get off the dock and explore Borneo.
So there's monkeys on the island, and Ragnar came up with an awesome idea to set the GoPro up on a tripod and leave some bananas as bait for him to see if we can get some footage. So we're on it.
David Attenborough style.
Without losing our GoPro.
Yeah, without losing the GoPro. We gotta tie it up to something. Otherwise we can have a couple of days of monkey life video on our hands. Yeah.
The plan seems simple enough. Tie the GoPro to a tree, check out some bananas, and wait it out.
And then tie it onto the log there, yeah.
Well, they weren't into the bananas and stayed just off camera. At least we caught this curious little Swedish man. The afternoon was spent practicing drone flying, eventually to work up my courage to fly off Delos. Our sail continued along the coast of Borneo. Some days we were lucky and had a little bit of breeze, but mostly we had the motor. We were working our way southeast, through the maze of reefs and shallow waters. Not only was the wind finicky, but we were also traveling in a convoy. Each and every day, the entire convoy had to anchor by sundown. An actual timetable to adhere to. A very first for Delos and her crew. It was a really strange way to sail. But there was also a really good reason. We were in pirate territory, and the notorious Abu Sayyaf gang was launching attacks from the Zamboanga Peninsula into the Philippines. They had super fast speedboats and would zip from island to island, terrorizing the Sulu Sea. They kidnapped tourists from resorts, attacked police stations, shot up a Vietnamese fishing boat, and even kidnapped a German couple off their sailboat in southern Palawan. Hence the convoy. We also received awesome support from the Malaysian military. We were constantly in contact with the Navy and the police while in the area. They were always patrolling the anchorages. Super cool and friendly guys. But it was no joke. We were under a pretty strict curfew. The Navy had a standing shoot first and ask questions later policy for any boat moving between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. But we carried on with life as normal as we could, and always making sure to make the next anchorage by sunset. After a few day hops, we made it to the Turtle Islands, which is a marine preservation area and turtle sanctuary. We were having breakfast one morning and heard what sounded like an underwater jet engine passing Delos.
So we heard some strange noises from the boat and we're pretty sure it's Dynamite fishing. So we're gonna go over and talk to this guy over here and just see what's going on and see if we can learn something. Dynamite! One more!
We pointed to the camera and he smiled and gestured, not aggressive or apprehensive towards us at all. We could still see more homemade bombs in his little boat, so we were sure to keep our distance.
That's the charge.
The shockwave hit the dinghy so hard, it felt like we rammed a reef at full speed. Watching this made us feel sick. Yesterday, just a few hundred feet from this very spot, we were diving, and it was awesome. There was good coral, healthy fish life, and even turtles. And now it was all dead. I wanted to vomit. Sustainability obviously meant nothing to this guy.
So we're not quite sure what he's doing because he lit the dynamite, blew up a good section of the reef. All these little reef fish floated to the top, but he didn't take anything. The birds came and carried everything away. So now he's got some sort of an air hookah system running and I have no idea what he's doing. It's strange. But it's a shame because this guy didn't do anything to anybody.
He'd already blown off half his arm. And if this didn't deter him, what would a conservation area do? Apparently nothing. So perhaps his situation was very dire, or this is the only thing he knew. Either way, we plan to hang out and learn more about this insanely terrible way of fishing.
So I'm really curious as to what this guy's doing. So we think this is a spot that he dynamited earlier. So we're gonna just go down and have a look.
The setup was very simple. He had an air tool compressor in his canoe with a long plastic hose. He tied the hose around his waist and stuck the high-pressure stream of air directly into his mouth. You could clearly see the area damaged by the explosion. To top it all off, he only had one fin made of wood. Strange. He was pretty adept, though, and crawled along the bottom stuffing dead fish into his bag. I'd heard about these types of divers before, operating with such simple equipment. I felt I had to experience this to see what it was like. I was doing it totally wrong though. It didn't take me long to figure out you had to sip on the air. almost like drinking from a high-pressure stream of water. It wasn't pleasant, I can tell you that. It was a pretty bizarre experience.
That was intense. It's like having air like injected down your lungs at high pressure. It's really hard to regulate it's just high pressure air straight into your mouth. He's just got a hose he bites on and ties it around his waist. And then he goes to the bottom and he collects all the dead fish that are lying there. He came up with a massive bag full. He had a hard time lifting it into the boat, so it's probably pretty heavy.
And all the coral, can you see?
Yeah, the coral's coral's like just flattened.
He ended up bombing a total of 3 sites that day, and we saw him again over the next 2 days as well. It's so disturbing to know that this goes on. In a matter of months, this entire reef could be destroyed, all for a few unsustainable bags of fish. And the worst part is, he wasn't ashamed. He didn't even care if we filmed him. It was just another day of reef bombing. The next morning, some kids from the island dropped by for a visit. It was Ramadan, and they'd been fasting all day. No food, or even anything to drink. So we invited them up for a little fresh bread and water. They returned the favor with a bit of their catch. Awesome, and it was just the perfect size to cook whole on the grill.
We got dinner.
Oh yeah.
Dinner for tonight.
What?
Bye.
They also invited us to their village for a little visit. From what I gathered, they had a turtle conservation area, and also a mud volcano. Intriguing. Hey, wait a second. Basketballs, cheesy group photos, and San Miguel beer cartons? Did we? Yup. We'd accidentally crossed the border and ended up back in the Philippines. It was cool though. No one made a fuss. Not even the police seemed to care. They were just stoked to have some visitors.
Who's going to show us the volcano? Yeah? Okay, let's go.
Okay, start this way.
It was a pretty sweet walk across the island, and their kids were so excited to show us. I was pretty excited too. I'd never seen a mud volcano before. And it turned out to be exactly what it sounded like. A small crater that occasionally erupts geysers of mud. Interesting. You gotta love island hospitality. You're always greeted with smiles and fresh coconut. Too cool.
Oh, he wants to go to the ocean.
Most of the beach was covered with these turtle nests. At night, the turtles come ashore and dig these massive holes in the same beach where they were born. It's pretty cool, and no one really knows how they find their way home after years at sea. They lay their eggs, and then the conservation people steal them. They grab them right away and rebury them in pre-dug holes. The idea is to protect the eggs from predators and increase the hatchling rate, and they were doing it on a massive scale. The entire operation was pretty impressive. When the hatchlings are ready, they're released on the same beach where they were laid, and the rest is up to nature and luck. Beware the dynamite bomber, dudes. We told the rangers about the dynamite bomber. They assured us that this could never happen. They would certainly know about it. Then we showed them the footage. Oh yeah, they recognized the one-armed bandit in his yellow boat. They told us he was from the island across the channel. They also said that the bandit was from an Abu Sayyaf village, so they don't go near there. They explained they have no boats, so how could they patrol? So when we showed him this footage of a Malaysian trawler dragging his nets right through the middle of the park, they just sighed and dropped their shoulders. They were pretty helpless. It's great to see such good work being done to help counteract the people who are destroying the oceans. Unfortunately, the only way to stop it is education and a new generation. Hopefully us being at the turtle sanctuary showed them how important the work they're doing really is. Maybe when the dynamite bomber is gone, there'll be no one to take his place. I hadn't flown the drone in a few days and was feeling the itch, so I decided to give these guys a look at their village from the air. The kids were amazed to see what their island looked like from above, and it was a really cool experience to show them the streaming footage on the smartphone. Up next, we take Delos up the Kinabatangan River, spot some amazing wildlife, and park Delos to visit Sweden and America.